There we are. Okay, folks. Welcome to the show. We are Clip Virgin. We're going to take a look at part 2. This is part 2 of Jamie Hanshaw Dyer talking about MKUltra. It is deep, folks, and it's ritualistic. So we did a one-part series. It felt like a series. Oh no, not series. Cancel. Order some food. But we had to cut it short. There's so much information. Jimmy Kennedy got a content house. Jimmy Kennedy is in his content house. He's got a bunch of moths flying around in this content house. Jimmy Kennedy. He's in his new content house. But the sofas are too wide, too deep. You're getting too comfy in Jimmy Kennedy's content house. Okay. So I'm saying, folks, this is why you have to have music. Jimmy Kennedy. Oh my gosh, no. Okay. In the content house. I got a good 16 bars on that already. So a lot of moths were flying around. Jim Kennedy at one point stood up and almost was kind of standing in front of her. Made her feel a little uncomfortable. And yeah, a lot happening here. So let's take a look where we left off, and see if we can't pick up the pieces. Now,
when they got there,
okay,
they were actually on.
Okay, now she's talking Anunnaki, Disneyland, like witchcraft, and now she's into, okay, she wrote a book. But she doesn't. Let's see if we can. Back to where we were here.
I know it sounds crazy, but it's basically what you're saying is like they're kind of this non-moralistic entities, and they're big, they're physically
Okay.
and they're.
Okay, so let's start back here. A lot of information on this one. Okay. A lot of information. She's talking about how your personality is getting split. Trauma-based mind control. So
Basically, right? And like the trolls of Narnia, you got to get rid of them.
Oh.
Okay. So we had these giants.
Okay, here we go. The giants here.
But how do we get from that to Britney Spears?
Okay.
Oh, because this is where you get your first mystery cults. So every city was a cult to its patron god.
Okay, volume low. Oh, thank you.
And their
Oh my God. So I was thinking that Jamie Kennedy rap with low music. Oh boy. Oh boy. I gotta step away from the microphone. As it is, let alone low volume. Oh great. Okay, she is all right, so we're talking Nephilim, the Anunnaki. So the Anunnaki had children, and then that's the Nephilim, or the Nephilim, and then had the Anunnaki. I don't know, but whatever they spawned apparently was not good. They were very evil people, or giants, but were treated as gods and required human flesh and babies, sacrificing babies all the time. And they created cities out of a deity, or a planet, or both. So it makes me wonder too, then, those statues of Baal and all that, maybe it represents how they actually were. Were they actually that big at some point? You know, she's talking about the Nephilim, these angels having hybrid babies. Is that where these winged creatures are coming from? That's wild.
Processions turned into plays, and then in Greece, this was really crystallized by, like we were saying, the mystery cults. They would have Greek
because
theater.
of mystery schools. Okay.
Yeah. And this is just the beginning of acting. And because back then you would say you were incarnating this god or goddess into your body, and they were acting through you.
Okay, but now we say it's embodying a character and such.
Right.
So when I do a character, am I embodying a character, or is it a god coming through me?
No, I mean, this is a very specific ritualistic thing. Like, you have to be specific. So voodoo actually is the...
And just so that we're clear, anytime I've seen Jamie Kennedy act, I never thought that there was a god shining through him, in no way, shape, or form. So, oh my God. I didn't. Oh no. Oops. I didn't. Oh God. Okay. Jan picked up on something. I didn't see it, but you can sense it. And it's something I've been sensing on her countenance for even on the last stream. There was just something a bit kind of frightened and abused in a way. So it just seemed like she was speaking from experience when she was talking about these strange rituals or something that were occurring. But okay, so it looks like there might have been. Okay, all right. So that kind of looks like a black eye. Okay, that kind of looks like a black eye. Oh my God. I mean, yikes, yikes, yikes. Well, then would this then make sense? We were wondering, I guess a few nights ago, when Jay Dyer was on Jamie Kennedy in the Content House, okay, And I'm like, why does he keep going like Darth Vader? So he's like trying to put everything up and locked in, and so we mentioned it, and I'm just like, well, we'll just okay. I mean, clearly it's something, but who knows? And then his wife comes on the show the next episode, and okay, so then there's that. I don't know. Okay, that's just stuff we're seeing, we're noticing. See, it seems like he's on a book tour. Yep, doing multiple shows, and but this could just be iron deficiency. Okay, but I will say I have noticed a couple times that she was favoring her left side here on her stomach. And kind of always going to it. And that was on our last stream. And when I saw it, I don't think I mentioned it, but every time I saw that, I was assessing whether it had something to do with the corset, which we've commented about. And I thought, well, maybe that she's just kind of being aware of the utility of the corset, to be locked in like that. So just kind of checking in on it or something. Well, now, I mean, if I'm seeing a black eye, I mean, maybe she got kicked in the side too. I don't know. Okay. So this all allegedly, I don't know. I mean, not even saying anything. It's just what I'm noticing. The things that she's kind of favoring, and her freeze frames are a bit, yeah. So, I really got to retitle these streams, okay? Because we're not trying to watch this stuff, okay? We're just watching stuff. I think people are thinking that I'm giving commentary to these shows. It's a parody. It's a commentary, satirical analysis. But here we are.
Best way to describe what I'm talking about, where they say that the Loa that they call upon will come down and ride them like a person on a horse for a time, and then they leave again, and you can only incarnate them for so long.
Did the volcanoes in the mountains in Hawaii, those are real, right? The gods?
Yeah.
Okay.
So these gods are demanding lots of sacrifice. And when you study like the very first writings of Sumer and cuneiform and stuff like that, it's all has to do with the offerings that people were bringing to the temple. So much grain, so much sheep, so much.
Why do they do that? Why do they want this stuff?
Because these things were live at one point and demanding all of
so it's like their food.
Sacrifice. Yes, they need food, they need children, they need beer, they need date cakes.
So it's like, I know it sounds crazy, but it's basically what you're saying is like they're kind of this non-moralistic entities, and they're big, they're physicalized, and they're like,
oh, she's talking about the giants.
They need, like you said, the beer, and they need the food and stuff,
right?
And then the sacrifice of the children. It's like they're taking their energy, all of that.
Yeah.
Blood rituals, all that.
And so before the flood,
You keep saying this flood.
right?
Was this Noah?
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. So it was really bad, and they were just scavenging and eating everything. Everybody was a slave to the patron god of their city. Post flood, it wasn't. There was giants that were after that, but it wasn't as bad as like just what they would say is you were created to serve us, and bring us offerings and bring us children, and that's your only purpose.
Is there evidence that these giants really live? There is evidence.
Mm-hmm. In the first batch of
Thanks, Jan. Yeah.
WikiLeaks, remember that? Pizzagate and WikiLeaks, they found Hillary Clinton talking about looking for the tomb of Gilgamesh.
We match up with the
Right.
backdrop pretty well here.
When they got there, they were actually on some kind of like occult missions to get certain artifacts, because Baghdad is so close to Babylon, which is huge. Like Babylon is central to this entire thing that we're talking about, and that's why you always hear Hollywood being equated with Babylon.
Babylon.
Stay right there. Remind me to go back to this,
Okay.
just so that I can finish the Brittany.
Yeah. So Brittany's
Her program is breaking.
Yes. So what we saw when she was like at the pinnacle is she was wed to Madonna. Do you remember that? Where her and Christina Aguilera.
Yes, but I gotta go back to Babylon now.
Okay.
Hold on.
It's
What?
all
Wait.
in the flat circle, man. It's
So
all-
wait.
yeah.
So
Wait. Why is Jamie jumping around like this? What's he doing? I mean, I didn't even mean to pause you showing your angles like this. But he's doing I mean, that's a straight up I Rogan. Let's find it real quick. And just go through here real quick. It's, I mean, oh boy. Okay. But, oh, that, I mean, right there. One second, folks. Let me. Okay. Now, let's see what else we got here. There it is. There it is. Just an arm's reach. He's nearly there. He's nearly there. Maybe we can get an eye Rogan here if I slow it down. Okay, this was an accidental pause. Okay, but we might have an eye Rogan. So if you would just go in slow motion here. Let's see if we can get it in one shot. That's pretty close. That's pretty close. There you have it. A little bit of Rogan. Sorry, it's taking me a while on that one. It's a new. That's what allowed me to play the music. Now it completely messed up my flow. All right, here we go. But Jamie Kennedy, how come you're not letting? How come he's not letting her stay on topic? Keeps moving around like. Go back to normal speed.
They say that we went and took Saddam to really find the Ark of the Covenant.
Who said that?
Is rumor.
Okay.
And that over there's like a lot of things in the desert.
Yeah.
So it wasn't really about war. It was about mysticism.
At the top, yeah. But war is also still about war because they want the sacrifice. Like, they want people to die.
To harvest that energy. Yeah. So the tomb of Gilgamesh is supposedly where?
It was supposed to be in Iraq.
And Gilgamesh was?
He was one of the main characters. So we have a couple books about these hybrid kings. And he's like one of the main ones.
And so Hillary Clinton wanted to find the tomb of Gilgamesh. Yeah. This is in the Epstein files.
In the WikiLeaks.
She wrote it in WikiLeaks.
Yeah.
And what did she want to do with it?
We don't know. It was just like, locate this and bring it.
Bring what?
Gilgamesh back. Because now we have technologies to bring certain people back, like through cloning.
So you're saying that in the WikiLeaks,
mm-hmm.
there's an alleged
mm-hmm.
email
mm-hmm.
from Hillary Clinton
mm-hmm.
where she wanted to get
the tomb of Gilgamesh
and
just
use
say
our
it.
United States military to raid the tomb of Gilgamesh and bring it back and then Jurassic Park it.
Yeah. Yes. Jurassic Park is a good example of that.
Do you know how crazy this is right now?
I know. That's why I had to write.
No, but you know, let's go deeper than that.
Okay.
Okay, so this is something that Jamie does, and he did it to Nasia a lot, actually, like a lot. And I can see he's starting to do it now too. He's getting a little uncomfortable, so he's trying to almost take control of the situation because he can't control his emotions. So he's going to control the direction of things, and so he is now he will stop her from talking and then say, oh, let's go and talk about this. And she's like, oh, okay, and she'll talk about that thing, and then he's like, no, let's go back to the we need to talk about it. She's like, okay, yeah. So he did that a lot with Nasia, and he did not do that with Jeff Dye, with her husband, Jamie, or Jay Dyer.
Good example of that.
Do you know how crazy this is right now?
I know. That's why I had to write.
No, but you know,
books.
let's go deeper than that.
Okay.
I talked to your husband, and hey, we were talking about how the CIA is involved in things, and I did a movie called Enemy of the State.
Mm-hmm.
and it was a very CIA heavy movie.
Which is funny, which is funny because I've actually messaged him about that movie. I'm like, what was it like, man? But you never replied to my message. It's okay. I know that he at least hasn't blocked me because I can still send him messages. It's when it goes shadow that they did my video I sent them. I mean, I'll let them know about all sorts of ideas and be like, give them show ideas. It's fun. But then they block you. So Jimmy Kennedy in his content house.
Now, I also did another movie called Three Kings.
Mm-hmm.
It's about the Iraq War.
Mm-hmm.
And we were fighting for something, but really we were going over the raid for their gold. Don't you think it's odd I'm talking to two people deep in this world about two different movies I did?
No. I think it's kind of lame. Like, it's kind of lame. No, and I'm sure many of people have fallen into this trap, really. It's where you're just like, do you know the cool things I've done? They don't care. No, here we go.
Which put them in propaganda, and I'm not aware of it. Or you're waking me up.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why we do
But
this.
yet we're not controlled. This is not a matrix.
Well, there
She
is
doesn't
a
like that.
false layer on top of what we would see, but the entire world is not a matrix.
Brittany now is breaking her programming. So she did this cake ritual. What is the cake ritual? Is that when they kiss?
So now you're switching topics again.
Oh, okay. So
She's like,
that was
we're
Madonna, Britney Spears, and Christina Aguilera. I think it was a VMA. And Madonna, who we would say she's a high priestess in this occult
I agree.
world.
So I'm saying, when does it change? Like
So she's the one that brought Kabbalah, one of the ones, to...
I mean, it's hard to unsee it once you see it, right? Hope it's not the case. I hope that's not the case. I hope that's just a little, maybe it needs a little zinc.
Hollywood.
But she seemed like she probably started normal, right?
Now, do you think Jamie notices it? Jamie's got to notice it then. He's there. I mean, this is, I mean, it's hard to say, but this is how it looks most of the times that you pause it. Okay, she looks kind of terrified. Maybe that's why you can't focus. And she's seeing that he's noticing, and she did her best to try to cover it up. I mean, but she was also like, no, you fucked up for the last time, and I'm gonna let everyone know. And he was just like, mm-hmm. I mean, now this is the first time that he has interviewed a husband and wife. This is also just after he has interviewed his or her husband. So this is just a little clip here, but now, maybe Jamie Kennedy, maybe Jim Kennedy knew about it and set it up so that people could see for themselves. Maybe, I don't know, but I really didn't notice it too much until Jan mentioned it. I mean, that looks a little black. It looks a little bruised. And all right. So
Yeah, but she's got all of the same symbolism.
She's a big high priestess.
And allegedly, I don't know, we're observing. This isn't not accusing. We are noticing things in real time. This is live, folks. Okay, this is live.
Yeah.
In my opinion, I'm allowed to say that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's what we're talking about. Inanna, the goddess, she would have lots of high priestesses, and what they would do is temple prostitution. So, not voluntary.
Madonna.
Now, I really should go like this so that you can see Jamie Kennedy here, because he decided to get up while she was talking, and so he's playing a little bit of dominance, trying to be cool. I mean, I did a dance warm-up party, and it felt cool. It was fun. Lost subscribers. It's worth it. But no, please come on back, subscribe. We won't be able to do that again. We won't be able to do music again. They will they don't like that, huh? So now I know. But he's standing up. What you standing up for? Well, if you take a look, because he's doing a monitor check right now, and he is seeing his form.
Prostitution. So, not voluntary.
Madonna is a big, in the programming, sex kitten.
So now, whenever he crosses his leg, we know he's slightly aroused. That's what happened with Nasia. Nasia was like bumping her foot on his foot, and he's just like, whoa. Oh, he had these like shocked expressions the whole time. So now he's adjusting. Okay, so you did, because it would be, I would turn this thing off immediately if the show was going to be him showing me the bottom of his shoes. Okay, I'm not going to look at the bottom of someone's shoe. and they can't seem to figure out like how rude that actually is, and so close to my face. It really sets in the sting a bit more, but we can't be having this showing your soul, okay? Bare your soul. You don't gotta. But yeah, anyway. So he's making his adjustments. Here we go. Now let's see if he makes any more adjustments.
Yeah. Right.
So, okay, so
All right.
you could call her a recruiter.
So
It was more watching the symbolism of her passing down a status onto Brittany and Christina
100%.
through a kiss, where she's also dressed like the worship.
I thought he stood up here. At some point he stood up. So never mind.
Full master in a Freemasonic ritual.
Okay.
And walking down the cake. So interesting, going back to wedding cake, that's actually supposed to be a representation of a Mesopotamian ziggurat with the steps.
Mm-hmm.
So those rituals I was telling you about, that where Inanna would bestow kingship onto a person through public sex ritual, that everyone else would also.
I'm so
emulate
lost.
this it's called a Kitu festival.
Mm-hmm.
And then you would bake your ziggurat-shaped wedding cake, and it was known as, the sacred marriage of Inanna and Dumuzi. So here's something that you're watching at the VMAs. You've got the wedding cake, you've got the Freemasonic hat, you've got the androgyny also, because
Ziggurat is the way it's shaped?
yeah, it's like one step. It's like a pyramid with steps.
Yes.
Okay.
That's a ziggurat.
Okay, yeah, it is a bit all over the place. It's also very dense stuff that she's just kind of giving these quick little summaries for Jamie's every bidding. Okay, he's like, well, tell me about this. Tell me about this. How about you just let her speak about it? Okay, but you're demanding these tasks. Okay, please just let the women speak. Okay, he's really, and what ends up happening is that it doesn't have any flow. It doesn't have any any foundation, and so now it's like, what is she even talking about?
Everywhere. So you're saying that is...
But that it is of something, okay? But it takes... I mean, that's again, that's some of that... like the... Oh, yeah, her first book. So more of the esoteric kind of stuff. I don't know anything about that.
Symbol.
Yes.
Okay.
So if you're talking about like the Tower of Babel,
The Tower of Babel, yeah.
that would have been a ziggurat.
Okay.
Okay.
A ziggurat, okay.
Which is also a wedding cake.
Okay.
The tiered wedding cake.
So
For the holy marriage.
weddings are like a ritual.
Well, weddings are a sacred sacrament, yes, but back then it would be a marriage between a goddess and a human.
Got it. So I want to get to this, but give me one. So that kiss sealed the fate of those two, because why?
It's just kind of like when you are initiated to higher degrees in a secret society, and this was done in public. So now Brittany is on another level, maybe not as high as Madonna, but she's definitely on her way. And then that's when we saw her kind of breaking down when she went and shaved her head, right? And she says, I don't want them plugging things into me anymore. And she's wearing a six-pointed star. And she goes to like a barber in the valley, and she says, shave it. And the girl says, no, I can't, because you're Britney Spears. And Britney takes the clippers and does it herself, right?
Oh. So you're saying she was losing her mind?
She was trying to get some more control,
Yes.
in my opinion.
They don't want things plugging into her. That could
mhm.
mean many things.
Yeah,
Oh,
she says,
God.
I don't want them plugging things into me anymore. It could be
Well,
mental, or it could be,
Yes.
physical. I've seen in documentaries, when you watch with different eyes and you go back and look at things from the 90s, you're like, whoa, dude, what was that? But
exactly. Even in the films, everything, you're just like, oh God, they just show it. You're like, and they're like, la, 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 la.
they would come in and give her some kind of shot backstage. You never know what's in those things. And,
Wow.
Michael Jackson's doctor was probably responsible for, if allegedly, maybe. So drugs is a big part of this. Drugs is also a huge part of mystery schools. Altered states of consciousness is what we're talking about when you're talking about the demonic, AI, drugs, mystery schools, because they want you in a different dimension mentally. So Christ is the God that you meet in your right mind. When you're straight and sober, and this is the God that you encounter when you are how you should be. But when you take all these drugs and psychoactive substances, and then you go into these weird trips and you like meet the clockwork elves or the blue lady or whoever else, these are, in our opinion, would be demonic, fallen things.
So let's go. I love you use the term fallen.
Mm-hmm.
So, and you're making sense. I'm tracking pretty well, but certain things if they're not human, I don't know why they have temptation and there's different things. So, but again, I don't know enough, but they say Lucifer was an angel. So I don't know. So
Lucifer was a cherub. Yeah.
Okay. And like I was telling your husband this, it's like, I don't want to lose his thoughts. Remember where we are. Is that
He's boss.
Snake.
He's gonna get bossy now. He has to get real bossy with them all the time. Just know that you look kind of strange and just move on.
He didn't really pick up on what I was saying. The snake is everything. Am I wrong? The
No.
snake is literally like, basically, tell me when I'm wrong, and whether it's an
You're
allegory,
wrong.
a parable, or truth. There's a garden. Everything's great. You can have anything. There's 1,000 fruits in here. Adam said, just don't eat that apple, correct? Because God said, just don't eat the apple.
You're not ready for that.
You're not ready for the apple.
Right.
And then Eve was created from his rib. And then a snake comes.
It's a serpent. So it could be a serpentine type creature. We're not told.
Okay.
I mean, you've read David Icke's, though. It could have been, like a serpent-like.
So it says, hey, eat this apple.
Mm-hmm.
And why does it do that?
Because it wants other beings to be fallen, like itself.
Because if you eat the apple, you're disobeying God.
Yes, because Lucifer fell, we're told, because of pride, because he wanted to be in place of God.
Okay.
So he wants to usurp God's creation whatever way he can. Make you think you live in a fake matrix, make you think God is not real, make you think you can learn enough esoteric knowledge to save yourself.
And I want to go back to the drugs in a second, but don't let me forget that.
But this goes to the Kundalini, too.
There you go.
Okay,
Let her
so
talk.
wait, so-
Let her talk. Oh,
We can't eat the apple.
oh my God, Jamie. He did it again.
You can learn enough esoteric knowledge to save yourself.
And I want to go back to the drugs in a second, but don't let me forget that.
But this goes to the Kundalini, too. So
Okay, so
yeah.
wait. So we can't eat the apple.
Not yet.
The apple, so when she eats the apple, she defies God.
What they say is Eve was deceived.
Mm-hmm. Victimhood started really early then. Taking no accountability literally fucking starts in the Garden of Eden with these women. Jeez, my knees.
Women are the gates of hell.
I mean, literally, they literally can't take accountability for the apple.
Well, here's what we're taught. Eve is not as old as Adam. She was deceived by the serpent. Adam ate willingly. He was not deceived. So it's Adam's.
I thought Adam was the victim.
Heal first. Then
Adam
he
was the
can heal
victim.
first. Not necessarily. That's not what they teach you in catechism class.
See, there's different beliefs here.
Right.
Okay, so let's go slow.
Okay.
So,
No, you don't have
Here
to
we
go
are.
slow. Just let her talk. He's like, let's go slow. I was thinking about you last night. Directing her, telling. Oh man.
You can't blame everything on women because they're not.
There you go.
As
Thank you.
culpable according to orthodoxy.
I know, but you have a certain belief system. I'm trying to get to what is the actual thing. So I don't want it, your religion or your belief.
Oh.
Because
How old are you, dude? Okay, you can't just let her talk. Okay, she can talk. I can barely talk. Okay,
I could find truths in Judaism, Buddhism. Shit, there's truth in Satanism, right?
Yeah.
So that's how I'm trying to find this one universal truth. But go ahead. So
what?
when you
What are you
drink
talking about?
alcohol,
Mhm.
are you letting a spirit in?
You just need the air, okay? You just need the air. You don't need to drink alcohol. Oh, Jamie, okay? Please, can you quit freaking out your guests, okay? It's... My cortisol levels are way too... I'm so stressed out watching your guests being so stressed at figuring out all your questions. Just let her tell her story. She's terrified. Oh, man. Jimmy, yeah. Yeah, you're making her mad. Oh. Oh, my God. Ooh. Oh man. Folks, this is why they want to shut Clip Virgin down. Okay? There's no other shows. No other organism that would find the stories in the minutia. Okay, these people are freaking out right before our eyes. And look at him. It's like, I'm zooming in on you. He's like, oh God, here they go again. Okay, we are transforming. Okay, we're not taking. Okay, we are creating. You tell me. You tell me. Yikes. Yikes.
Because we drink wine for sacrament. We drink wine with dinner.
Okay, so he's asking if you drink, will you allow spirits in? Now, I can see where Jamie's going with this now. And this is something that I was gonna say with Jay Dyer. And I might have refrained. Maybe I did say it, but I was gonna say, hey, maybe this. And I was gonna say when we first discovered that she might have a shiner, that perhaps this would be a good time to say, hey kids, let's stay away from alcohol, okay? If there's ever something one should stay away from, it's alcohol. It triggers something in people, and just like how weed triggers something in certain types of people too. When you using a substance that doesn't work well with your body, your genetics, then you get the negative part of it. So, I mean, just seems like there's a lot of places trying to get people off of alcohol. So, drink responsibly, I guess. But so now the reason why I didn't mention it, because I'm like, well, I guess maybe they're not drinkers. I mean, if you think it's secular to, her words, secular to, well, actually, I might agree with her on this one, saying that we're not. I mean, first of all, I'm not saying that I believe in the matrix, or that we're in a matrix or anything like that. But she was saying that that it might be a Gnostic thing or something. But
we get
anyway, besides the point.
Not drunk, but like it's not a.
Oh. Okay. Now this was the point. I'm like, well, they probably don't drink alcohol. Because I'm looking at this. Okay. I'm looking at this and I'm like, whoa, wait, what happened here? And this looks like, oh shit, I got drunk and yeah. Okay. A little bit of that rage that pops out. Anyway. So maybe they did. Maybe they got drunk.
We get not drunk, but like it's not a sin to drink alcohol.
But it puts you in another dimension.
But yes, the trick is to.
Okay, well now listen. Now, okay. Well, then these. Okay, and that's her favoring her side a little bit, okay? And she's wearing that corset, but she does tend to favor that side. And when he asked, okay, right there, that's when he asked her about spirits going into because of alcohol, right?
Mm-hmm.
Are you letting a spirit in?
Okay. And then she does that. Now, that right there, that seems like a technique to bring in a spirit right there. I mean, yes, that's the only way you can allow spirits to enter you is through alcohol. Yes, that's it. Yeah. No other means. Just. Or is it through breath? Okay, she is big old deep breath and let the revolution begin. No, here. So, now he's talking about alcohol.
But go ahead. So, when you drink alcohol.
Okay, when you drink. And he's saying that for a reason, because he does not. And he said that before. He does not drink. Although for a while it looked like he was always hungover. But it looks like he's kind of in good lighting. Okay. Still looks a little rough, but we all can't find the best lighting. Okay. But he's saying alcohol, though. Okay. So he doesn't drink.
Are you letting a spirit in?
Okay. Now, you would say, okay, yes. By that reaction, so that kind of connects the alcohol, the bruise. She's got a bruised rib there. She's favoring her rib. Sorry folks, I'm gonna have to zoom in on. I don't zoom in on the women here, okay? But I'm only doing this because it was made mention that she might have a black eye. Okay, so I'm just gonna go in a little bit here, and that does appear darker than that side, and perhaps there might be a little something right down there as well. Now I got patches just like anyone else. I'm Patch Adams with my blotchiness. And I say the more blotchy, the better. Perhaps there's some alcohol involved. Perhaps that Jay might have gotten drunk. Perhaps it has happened a few times. Perhaps he's gay as fuck and he hates women, so he beats them up because he would rather be with a man. That's how a lot of them are, folks. Allegedly. So they hate themselves, so they. It's pretty twisted. Yeah. Not saying that that's the case. I don't know this person. I'm just flipping through a flip book, okay? And when you see a picture like that, you go, "Hey! Whoa, wait, are you okay?" Because this starts making a little bit more sense, okay? She's talking alcohol, she's talking... But Jamie Kennedy, he's directing it, okay? So Jamie Kennedy knows. And that's why she hasn't been able to really get into a topic, because he he's trying. This is what he's been trying to do. Is he's trying to see if somebody got drunk and Joe Rogan shock chair. Oh my god. Oh man. Um. Oh man. Exactly. Exactly. Can't really you remember that. Okay. Joe Rogan has I don't know if you guys know this or not, but Joe Rogan has this electroshock wire contraption connected to the guest's seat, and he has a button that he presses under the desk, and when he had Tucker Carlson on, I mean, I can pull up the clip, and he's like, like whoa, and he would sit up and didn't quite know, but because it shocks you, and also gives you, through that trauma, you actually obtain amnesia. You block out the pain and the source of it. So you then start forming this bond with it, like a Stockholm syndrome. And no, but okay. No, I do believe that Joe Rogan has electric little jolt and his guest chair. And who else did that? That's why he took it down. Yeah, who's the other guy too that did that? He was always standing up. He was trying to get taller than the guy who wrote for the Dave Chappelle show. But anyway, here we are. This is it. Okay. This is why I had to turn Kurt Metzger's off. When it was just getting like too. It wasn't telling a story. It was about their lives. Okay. And I want to be making up the stories about their lives, folks. I don't want to actually see them. Okay. That I shouldn't have real drama happening with the guests. Okay. That's why I make up the drama, because it's so boring. Okay. But we might have actually stumbled onto something here, and yikes. Okay. So perhaps Jamie Kennedy is helping her out, and she's sorry to. Okay, let's move on. Let's move on, because I don't want to freeze frame on her. Okay, but this is, and then that right there. Okay, you just have to see the expression. Okay, and I'm not mocking her or anything like this. Okay, I'm actually very bothered by this. I want to have fun and laugh, and when it comes to serious stuff, this is a bit too much. Okay, so I'm working with delicate hands here. I don't want to, but this is very concerning. Almost as much as his energy levels, but why is he doing that? I don't think he has the awareness to even know this, or maybe that's him kind of checking out so that he can go through with it, you know. So it seems like he's directing it into this this topic, but by the looks of it, it doesn't seem like he's awake.
Because we drink wine for sacrament. We drink wine with dinner. We get
All right, so let's see if we get the expression.
necessarily. Because
When
Alright.
you drink alcohol,
Mhm.
are you
Oh.
letting the spirit in?
not necessarily. Because we drink wine for sacrament. We drink wine with dinner.
Oof. That whole expression right there.
We get
I kind of want to move on, but that was nuts.
not drunk, but like it's not a sin to
But it
drink
puts you in
alcohol.
another dimension.
But yes, the trick is to not be out of your mind,
Okay.
right?
And what does it do? It
Alcohol.
makes you
Drunk.
out of your.
Oh, and when he kind of like, and it does, and it, he's kind of talking down to them a bit. He talks down to women. I don't think he means to. I think he just. No, he means to. He feels a bit inadequate and wants to talk down. See, we don't talk down, okay? We don't. We punch up. We don't talk down. We punch up. And he is.
Your mind.
Yeah.
Talking to her like a kid.
Okay.
I mean, you could take medicine that will alter you a little bit.
When you smoke weed,
Yeah.
are you allowing yourself to be vulnerable?
A lot
Oh.
of people say yeah.
Okay. Now, when you take mushrooms,
Mm-hmm.
you're saying the whatever elves?
The clockwork elves.
Yes.
Yeah.
But you're saying these are bad things. Other people saying they're good things. So some people say that this is the drugged reality,
Mm-hmm.
and I haven't done any drugs.
Mm-hmm.
See, you need to though. You should. No, please stay away from drugs and alcohol. But you would realize the outfit you're wearing. You would be like, oh God, this is what I was wearing. No, he's looking good for Kennedy. Okay, looking good for Kennedy. He's getting ready for the Michael Bean pass me downs. One hour dance party is too long, folks. We gotta conserve energy.
That
All right.
this is the drugged reality,
Mm-hmm.
and I haven't done any drugs,
Mm-hmm. You haven't.
not for a long time,
Okay.
and I'm not a druggie,
Uh-huh.
and you haven't. Let's just say we haven't done anything for a year,
Okay.
even though it's been longer. But let's just say, so we're in our what we call normal conscious base reality.
Say it faster.
There is a movement saying that the fucking mushrooms unlock the actual reality.
Yeah.
So what do you agree?
What do
I
you?
disagree that is actual reality. I think the different dimensions are real, but I don't think we are ready as a species yet to be surfing through these types of, because they're all filled with deceptive things, and the spirits on those sides of things are not, I don't think they're for us.
But do they really exist?
Yeah, they exist.
And how do you access them? So you're saying when you're in mushrooms, you see
Should we
clockwork.
access them? Do we want to talk to
But do they exist? That's all I care about.
Oh yeah, spirit world for sure.
So so the clockwork elves are real.
Mm-hmm.
Are they here now?
In
the night
dimension.
was enough.
Yeah.
So if I take mushrooms, I can access them.
Yeah.
And what are they trying to tell me?
They'll tell you all sorts of things. My brother, he's done DMT so much that the elves told him to stop coming there and get a job. So, so they're like, quit coming here. We don't know any. It's very, when you listen to the
He's like,
testimonies
sure.
of,
Why would they care about a job? They're elves. That sounds like a weird. They don't care about paychecks. They're elves.
See, he doesn't understand the reflection, the self-reflection. You see all of your flaws. You're like, "Ooh, I need to change that. Got to do this different." Okay, got that. Yep, check, and okay, and we're back. Do a little inventory. Okay, don't go crazy, but do a little inventory, and but Jamie Kennedy, he's what are they called, the straight edge Kennedy. No, please stay away from things that alter your consciousness, okay? It's far better to achieve that on one's own. Just takes a little bit more time.
they didn't want to see him anymore was the point. So he was trying to get some kind of cosmic knowledge, and he kept
They
doing
said, get a job?
Yeah.
How's your 401k?
Yes.
Come on, elves don't say 401k.
That's what they told him. They said, we don't
This is
see
where you get
anymore."
another hole, and there's another hole. I'm little holes in these stories.
Well, see, the hole also is like all of the.
Oh, God. Okay, that's another whole reference that he made. Okay, he's talking about... Okay, he's talking about holes, okay? I mean, I hope I don't got to spell it out for you, okay?
Elves don't say 401k.
That's what they told him. They said, we don't
This is
see
where you get
anymore."
another hole, and there's another hole. I'm little holes in these stories.
Well, see, the hole also is like all of these trips are also subjective too. But then you see the same things over and over. Like people say that.
You know what's so wild, on a side note, is that we talk about all this mind control, MKUltra, and you know you're always dressed like a Disney princess. Which is great. Which I really, really love that about you, because you are pure.
Oh.
And I
didn't want to freeze it on her. I mean, Jamie, please. Can you? She apparently she's a journalist or something. Again, she does. He didn't really get a chance for her to speak her mind and kind of tell her thing. He's just, what about this? Do you believe in this? Well, how about this? But apparently she's a writer, a journalist. Or she kind of... Oh, that's right. She was... the conspiracy. Yep, she was moving to different towns. Hey, a truth seeker. Okay, we need more of those. Nothing wrong with that. But he's wanting to poke holes in her theory.
You know, and I think this world needs purity. And I think that
Oh, now he's talking about her purity. Okay. Why? Because she's, from what you say, is dressed up like a Disney character. Yeah, it does look like it a bit, but but
I don't want it to be run
what do you look like? Okay.
by evil, but there's a coding of it.
Yeah.
And I said this to Jack Osborne, and you tell me if I'm wrong.
You're wrong.
Why I say the world is running on these, like you say, energies. We're on the same page with that. And evil is because I feel like
You don't have to be on the same page just to have her talk, though, okay? She can share her opinions without you having to buy it wholesale. You can just have her tell her story, okay? And you don't have to interrupt her, put her on a different topic. I don't understand why you cannot hear a different opinion without it affecting you. You should be able to hear all opinions and have your own. Okay? We don't have to be on the same page as everything. Okay? Especially with Jamie Kennedy. But I like what he does. I like how Jamie Kennedy is, doing the show, actually, I don't know. Some of this blue, or is this fuchsia or blue? Oh man, we're gonna see a bunch of product everywhere. Oh, here comes the toys. Oh my god. They all want to show toys. Like a gamer streamer.
we're always overcoming something. It's not just like, hey man, here's a plate of sushi, and you know what? Like, we have to make good things happen. They don't always happen. I feel like we're overcoming a lot of strife in our world. Am I wrong to say that?
No, we are definitely-
Unnecessarily put there, by the way.
We're told that we are in an arena like a gladiator in Rome, and the battle is against things that you can't see.
Yes,
Right.
I believe that.
And so, in order to protect ourselves and to have some kind of victories in our life,
Okay. See, there he is again. Yes, I believe that. Like, you don't. He's like, oh wait, there's something I believe. You don't have to believe her just to hear her story. Okay.
see.
Yes,
Right.
I believe that.
And so, in order to protect ourselves and to have some kind of victories in our life, so we do the warfare in a spiritual way. So, that's praying. That's when you get into all of this stuff,
Oh,
and it's so overwhelming. And
now there's this explanation now. Of the absence of prayer, because she's like, oh, prayer. We don't pray enough. No, let me just.
when you get into all of praying, that's when you get into all of this stuff, it's so overwhelming, and you feel like despair. Like a lot of people are feeling despair about Epstein files and waking up and stuff, right? So you kind of have to scale down your attitude about what you can change and what you can't.
Yeah, because people will get overwhelmed, they'll do nothing. Other people will lose their mind.
Yeah.
And other people just will not participate because it's just too much.
Yeah, I mean, I've been through dark nights of the soul, definitely many times, and the church helped me with that in a therapeutic way.
Yeah, her hands don't have any scratches or marks on it. Yep. Yep, so there's at least that. There's no bruise marks on the arms. Like grab it. Nothing on the neck. But I did, she was kind of favoring her side though. But
And the church helped me with that in a therapeutic way, knowing all of the matrix,
Yes.
right, and trying to still live amongst the normies.
Yes.
And
but I am compelled to do something. That's why I talk about it.
yes, okay, so the thing that you can do is just you have to start on yourself first, right?
Good point.
You can only control the things that you can control. That is your attitude. That is how you treat people. That is.
okay, so his microphone is really, it has this high pitched rattle. But I don't understand why he's got to just have her talk.
You can control. That is your attitude. That is how you treat people. That is how you pray, how you give to charity.
Yeah, exactly.
You,
Stop doing that, Jamie.
Control your anger. Just the simple virtues. And so that's where the church really helps. It's like, it's not trying to make heroes that go out and like change the world and take over Cuba and like solve all of these problems. Like the problem is right here first. And this is the thing that will take you your whole life to solve. So you really just have to start with the inner person, and then things will get better by providence if everybody turns inward. It's a very radical.
You gotta be the change. Be the change. Quit trying to change people. Be the change, and then you'll be where you got to be.
Accountability, to use that word. All of the things in my life, in a way, are my own fault.
Oh man. Okay, and I didn't bring it up the first time, but this is the second time that she has referenced her taking the blame of something. Okay, so she just, this is what you hear from people who have been gaslit for a while, okay, or severely. This is your fault. So then she's like, "You're right. This was my fault. I shouldn't have. I shouldn't have let that man talk to me for 5 minutes about my book that I was selling. I'm sorry. Yeah, you whore. You just. Yo, he's talking to men all the time. You're right. I'm sorry. It's my fault. I'll cover myself up even more. Okay. I'm not trying to show my body to people. Yes, you are. Everyone loves you, and I'm sick of it. I saw how he was looking at you. No, hon. I promise, no. No. Baby, no, It's time to tell us love. Yeah. Here, just lay down. Lay down. It's okay. Birds start coming out the window. Okay. Creating peace because the guy's just completely irate. This show's too edgy. Okay. We're the new tabloids.
I love the way you look
Right.
at that.
To a certain extent,
I love the way you look. This is what Jamie just said. She's like, oh, here he goes. Yeah, I guess. See, Jay was right. I do bring this upon myself. All right, so let's take it back because she said something else about the. We are not oh, that's what she said. We are not perfect. And I was gonna be like, hey, hold on now. Hold on. Speak for yourself. No, folks. What she's saying is that you're born imperfect, and then you have to have this thing to make you whole. And all that. Okay. You are enough. Okay, don't. She's talking about inward stuff, but also saying that you got to have this outward thing to make you whole. Anyway,
inner person, and then
Mm-hmm.
so you really just have to start with the inner person, and then things will get better by providence if everybody turns inward. It's a very
Whoa. So turning inward is usually what happens when as a means of survival if the environment is hostile.
by providence if everybody turns inward. It's a very radical accountability,
Mm-hmm.
to use that word. All of the things in my life, in a way, are my own fault.
I love the way you look
Right.
at that.
And she's like, right? Is that normal for people to think that about yourself all the time? No, it's everyone else's fault, man. Like, no, you are the common denominator in all your problems. Okay, there, I solved it for you. It's you. You're the problem. Oh, proximity, not. Yeah, she's a little nervous. Okay, you can tell she's been nervous this whole time.
Accountability,
Mm-hmm.
to use that word.
Or a Freudian slip.
All of the things in my life, in a way, are my own fault.
I love the way you look
Right.
at that.
To a certain extent. Some people are, they're tortured and they're held like physically. And bad things happen to them. But by and large, everything the way your life turns out is really up to you.
Wow. Eeh. Okay, now everything that she's saying sounds like it. She's like, Jamie, help. He's grabbing me, hitting me. He kicked me in the ribs.
Large, everything
Allegedly.
the way your life turns out is really up to you.
Manifestation is real, correct?
We call it synergy. So God has what he would like as a father, your dad wants you to be successful. He wants you to have these things. He wants you to be happy. So we co-create, they say, with God. Like, it's not a programmable robot.
Okay, and I actually like that. I didn't mean to. I wasn't trying to mock that thing, but it's one of those things where, okay, she's probably been in theater. She's done musicals. They all do this. Okay, starts singing and all that. But it's also mean like you gotta know how to stay calm under pressure.
But you are having a relationship in synergy with God to manifest
Things.
His will, but also the things that you want. Does that make sense?
Yeah, you're big into serving the God, and always God is the number one, which I understand that.
But it's not. It's interesting because it's not service in the way that you would think of.
No, I don't.
Well, Allah, that's a good example because that is like a slave-master dynamic. But God in our church is a father figure.
And
right?
wants you to do well.
Yeah, and doesn't need things. He doesn't need sacrifices of blood and grain and beer and all of these things that a Anunnaki would need because he created all of those things for us to enjoy. Right? We don't have to kill our babies to give back to.
I thought she was talking about the preacher, and now all of a sudden she's talking about the God.
For us to enjoy. Right? We don't have to kill our babies to give back to God. But we do co-create in synergy, they say, and manifest beauty in the world as a partnership, as a relationship.
Is that why abortion is so big?
Because people are made in the image of God. That's why we don't cover our face like you would in Islam. And you don't kill people, and you respect them in to a certain degree because everybody is an image bearer of God.
And so why are people so pro-abortion? To me, I think it's partially a sacrifice. No,
I do
it is
too.
not partially. It is a sacrifice.
Well, they have said like cosmopolitan.
Okay, now there she is. Kind of favoring her side. Now, so allegedly, I don't know, and maybe she's just not feeling well or whatever, but that could also look like a rib injury. Okay? Kicked in the stomach. Kicked in the rib. Or fell when she got hit. Like this. And then it's like, The hit here, she falls, then hits her. Oh.
Magazine actually had an article about, how can you make your abortion some kind of blood sacrifice.
Well,
evil. To me, it's couched as freedom for women and, a form of birth control. But it's 2026, and if you're getting pregnant without wanting to in 2026, with all the different ways to prevent it, that's insane. And so to me, it is some sort of.
Well, we would also say, that harms the mother too. That kind of procedure is harmful to your body. It's not just something that you can get rid of without consequence, right?
No.
And no, we don't murder. So.
No, I'm thinking it's because I think that they literally sacrifice babies when they do it.
I don't think every single mother who has that inclination is.
No, I know. You take the day after pill. You can do it. Listen, I'm not crazy with it. If it happens, you gotta, you want to take care of it within the reasonable window. That's my belief. but also it's, try to prevent it as much as you can, getting pregnant. I'm not against sex casually. Okay, are you against that?
Casually, that's not my personality to start.
But are you okay if could you have a friend that was casually having sex?
Yeah, we could be friends.
Okay.
But I would say that's probably not in your best interest.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah. I care about you.
Yeah.
That's why I would say don't get an abortion because it's going to harm you.
Mm-hmm.
Also, that
True.
we're image bearers of God, so we don't kill our fellow human beings, even in the womb. But that all comes out of secularism and modernity. So people have disconnected the
that godlessness,
sacredness of life. They don't view life as sacred because if evolution is true, then everything is random and nothing means anything.
It's crazy, and people can compartmentalize so much by not respecting life, and you can see it how it's happening more and more now. It's insane. People literally just are completely detached because.
I know it's just his second episode, but to match like that, I mean, he does actually have the perfect opposite. But I mean, come on, you can't be wearing a fern shirt with a bunch of ferns back there. But then what else would you wear? Okay, everything else would look too boring beyond that huge white wall that you call a cushion. And you got another cushion there. So even that huge, massive cushion that is taking up all that space is not good enough for you. You got too small of a body. Okay? It's too deep of a couch. So now he has to get another massive couch cushion on him. And so we then, as a viewer, have to watch this massive horned demon chair. It looks like a, what are they called? Those bobos. Those demon toys. La boo-boos. Okay, like right. So it's a huge chair. Huge chair. It doesn't need to be that big. The whole shot is chair. And it's still not serving its almighty purpose. Okay? You gotta get a different chair, Jamie. It's ridiculous. I'm not gonna look at the bottom of your feet and you being lifted up on these pillows. It's just not going to happen.
Of their own self-serving interest. Let's go to your book. What do you want to tell me?
Oh,
here?
well, this was so interesting. So this is like the new stuff that I was working on.
Look at all of those notes.
This is just about the Dalai Lama.
Yeah, and all the stories that...
Yeah, this is recording from...
Sorry, folks. Wrong button. Yeah, all the stories that she didn't get a chance to talk about either because you keep interrupting her.
More and more now. It's insane. People literally just are completely detached because of their own self-serving interests. Let's go to your book. What do you want to tell me?
Oh, well,
Self-serving interest. So let's talk about your book that you're peddling.
this was so interesting. So this is like
Thanks,
the new
Jamie.
stuff that I was working on.
Look at all of those notes.
This is just about the Dalai Lama.
Okay.
So, curious names popping up in the Epstein files was the Dalai Lama, and he had a list of books that Jeffrey Epstein had ordered from Amazon all about Tantra. So, like Secrets of Tantra, Secrets of Sex Magic, Kabbalism, all stuff that we've been talking about today. So, Epstein was very
Kundalini.
heavily interested in the Tantra. And this is a
I'm
branch
sure he
of
was.
Buddhism that is one of the most recent, right? So I know you have a soft spot for Buddha, but it has always been a very misogynistic religion.
Buddha's a misogynist?
Oh, big time. Big time. Buddha, he believed that women were walking latrines. He would say. So he actually left his wife and child to go on his ascetic path, right? When he was raised as a prince. And after one night of orgies, he wakes up and he's like, these girls are just a bunch of hoes, tricks and hoes. And he goes on this ascetic path and he figures out in his mind that all life is suffering and all life comes through women, through birth. Therefore, women are evil and the gates of hell.
Why are they the gates of hell?
Because life is suffering. It's all.
Oh, well, someone else believes that. You were doing a joke about it.
Yeah.
Earlier.
Women are the gates of hell.
So wait,
Yes.
their vaginas are the pathway?
Yeah. To hell. Because it's incarnation. Okay, so also in the karmic
Jamie,
wheel
jeez.
of Buddhist thought,
Kennedy.
you have to be reincarnated as a man first before you can go on. So you have this biological glass ceiling if you want to be a woman Buddhist, because men are higher up on the incarnation than
That's
women.
crazy because Buddhism always seems like it's about love and
Right.
wow.
Well, there's at least four different schools of Buddhism, but this is like the very early, what he would have taught his disciples, meditate on dead bodies because you don't want to be like inflamed with lust and make more children for this suffering world. Okay, so the goal, tell me if I'm wrong here.
Meditate on a dead body.
Yes. Tell me if I'm wrong, but the goal of Buddhism is like nirvana, right?
I don't know enough about it. I just give an example of another. I'm just saying it's like you have your orthodoxy. Jews believe they're Jews. Islam believes they're Buddhism. I'm just using examples like people believe so many different things. So it's like, how do we include everybody, but yet find out? And I think you're very, what is the word, staunch? I think you believe what you believe to be the ultimate truth.
Uh-huh.
And I was like,
He just called her staunch. I mean that. Isn't that a negative term that people call religious people, like staunch Christian or staunch? Maybe it's only referred to as for Christians, but what are you talking about, Jamie Kennedy?
what is the word, staunch? I think you believe what you believe to be the ultimate truth.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, well, if you talk to somebody else, it might be like this. But the Dalai Lama, before we go any further, it seems like they're.
And this is not a really good interview. It's not a really good stream. Not a. Seeing Jamie struggle like this makes me feel like I'm struggling. Yeah, I'm too I'm too connected to Jamie Kennedy.
There's a lot of smoke around that dude.
Yes. And so
He seems like a weirdo, which is crazy to say.
And he has a lot of connections with Hollywood. So he used Hollywood as kind of like a diplomatic agents to get these ideas in the West. Tantra, Kundalini, yoga, and they would say, talking about sorcery and black magic, this is literally, they call it the Varma Marg, the way of the left-hand path, or the use of women to apotheosis. So what they would say is that a yogi, a guru, a lama would sleep with women and drain their energy like a battery, and throw away the husk when they're done, so like a nutshell or something.
So you have sex with a woman,
Mm-hmm.
and then by having sex with them, you take their energy,
Mm-hmm.
and then what do you do with it?
You internalize it into yourself. Okay, it gets really intricate, and we're going to do like a 3-part series show on this. So you have your real woman that you use. This is Tantra, okay? This is like Sting.
Sting.
Yeah,
yes.
Tantra.
Tantra
Dalai
is
Lama.
not achieving orgasm, correct?
Yes, you're correct. You drain all of their gynergy. They call it female energy, right? Like gyno. You transmute it in yourself, and then you make intergalactic goddesses in your mind that you have sex with. And then the third stage is incorporating all of these female deities that you made, and you are now a sort of like androgynous yogi. So we have androgyny again as a theme. So, and yogis think that they can actually like heal you with their
So it's not
diamond
sex
phallus.
with women; it's sex with minors.
Right. In the traditional tantra, yes.
Well,
Old women or women over 20, women who've hit the wall, they would say, they call them like jackal face, they call them old hag, they call them owl.
What religion did this?
This is Tantra Buddhism.
no, the better question is what nationality? Because some be looking. Oh no, come on. We don't think that way.
This is what you would find in Tibet.
We think
Dalai
that way.
Lama.
Oh my god!
Right. So it is.
So many people listen to this.
No, not
Buddha's
not as
mother,
many as you think.
actually, she died very shortly after giving birth to him, and this is kind of central to their religion because it is about getting rid of feminine energy, or taking it all into yourself and discarding the shells.
I
of
would
women.
think that women would take your energy. Because
Oh,
they're
would you just let her talk, dude? Okay, let her talk.
receptors,
Yeah, that's weird, right?
but you're giving them, you're taking their energy.
Yeah.
Okay, so
So the Kundalini is the serpent.
what's the Kundalini?
She's talking. Oh my
This is
god.
what the goal of the yoga that they use,
I
and
used to do
the
this yoga
sex
all- I used to
magic
do
that they
this
use.
yoga all the time.
No, you
They
didn't.
call it the serpent that sits at the bottom of your spine in your Muladhara chakra. And they equate this with Lucifer, with
Ooh,
the
what?
lightning, with the serpent power, right?
Yeah.
It's the snake that goes up your spine during orgasm, they say.
So you're saying
Oh,
when a
well.
man has an orgasm, the feeling he's getting is figurative.
She is so uncomfortable, as she should. He looks a little tired, a little worn out. One might say depleted. and he is giving his guests the ick feeling with every single question.
Actively or actually, like a serpent going up your spine.
It's supposed to be an energy wave that goes up the spine like a serpent. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
It does.
Now, ladies, what would you do if another man looked at you like that? That's why he's not able to really get to the point. He's just watching. Okay, he's like, oh, what about this? Oh, yeah. Tell me about Britney Spears.
Does.
But sex is good. Sex was created to make more image bearers of God, right? But when you take it and you invert it, and that's a part of their
No, I didn't know we were going to get into all this talk. Okay, I thought this was going to be some MKUltra stuff. Now we're talking.
religion too is the law of inversion, they say. So anything that is gross will help you on your path to enlightenment. Anything that is like disgusting becomes sacred. That's why they will eat a lot of bodily fluids. So if you're talking about like Aleister Crowley magic and Kenneth Grant, who takes a lot from Tantra and yoga, they would make something called cakes of light.
Oh, hell no.
Gosh.
Yeah.
It sounds disgusting.
It's pretty gross.
Yeah, I don't even know, but I
Okay.
can imagine.
We can move on.
You don't want to platform the cakes? Yeah, they are quite disgusting, folks. Don't be taking the cakes, okay? Thinking that you're gonna become enlightened. No, you're gonna have a fever that almost kills you. And through that traumatic experience of the near death, you will witness a being saying, basically telling you how to get back on Earth. Okay, because you just ate poo. Okay, it's gross, folks. Okay, please. Put it in the dirt. Okay, that's what it's meant for, and you grow things with it. Don't be eating the ingredients. We do not know what we're talking about, folks. Okay, we're just saying words. Okay.
Oh gosh, they did this in what? Kundalini?
In Tantra,
And they.
there is a
Pay attention,
a
Jamie.
priestess, okay, called a mudra, and she's usually young, under 16 probably. They would have her in a ritual, and what they
Stop,
want
Jamie.
from her
Grow
is
up. Seriously, Jamie Kennedy needs to grow up. Just, if you're going to have an interview and you're going to let Jeff Dye tell his stupid ass stories by him hitting the mailbox and running away from the scene of the crime and not wanting people to see that he's getting arrested. Are you kidding me? I love it when people see that I'm getting arrested. I'm like, hey, yeah, that's right. Yeah, they got me again. That's right. Me over here. Okay, I want everyone to see that. So Jimmy Kennedy is letting Jeff Dye tell the stories. And And Jamie Hanshaw,
and 16
it's too
couples.
gross.
They would
Grow
have
up.
her in a ritual, and what they want from her is
It's gross though.
Gosh.
they call them emanations or kalas. It's just bodily fluid from inside,
Oh gosh.
and they have all of these different categories
Oh gosh.
for
Be quiet, Jamie.
Oh gosh.
Okay, this is the problem when you don't really. I mean, I don't really get to hear the microphone. Okay, so I don't know if I'm too loud or not loud enough. It's a guessing game, folks. No, everything is bright red, the darkest red when I talk on the. No, I got good levels. But he's not hearing that. We have to hear him. Oh God. Oh God. Oh. Okay. Not everything's got to be kind of funny and a bit. Okay. Let some things unfold.
I
Like
can imagine.
time of the month
Oh,
and
God,
all
I
of
don't
that.
wanna- I
Oh
don't
God.
wanna-
Oh
I don't
gross.
wanna-
No,
this
never
is like-
mind.
And then by doing
Yeah.
this, they're getting power.
Please
Yes.
skip this.
Oh gosh. And that's in Kundalini.
No.
This is Kundalini yoga.
No.
This is Tantra, Tibetan Tantra. This is OTO, Aleister Crowley's Ordo Templi Orientis. So what he did was trying to take Eastern magic, this stuff, and blend it with Western magic or Kabbalah and make something super crazy that can allow women to channel demons and aliens.
So is anything good?
And that's where we're getting our technology from. Okay, that's the whole thing with Epstein. Okay, Epstein, they know through this trauma and putting people through these near-death experiences, they start getting these downloads, and they call it alien because it's just this information like the way to build the higher the hyper chamber. I don't know the words because I've never had a download, folks. The hyperbaric chamber. I couldn't think of it. Anyways, they end up knowing things. So they'll put these kids, they'll torture them just to hear the tech talk that they get from it. They monitor them because they're in this traumatic state. They're like, okay, and they're just slowly walking around, and they'll start to monitor the kids, and all of a sudden, the new coordinates to some kind of ancient chamber is revealed. They know how to open up the gateway. They call it the gateway.
Good.
Yes, the whole world is good. Everything created is good.
So if I see a place that has Kundalini yoga, I can't do.
Okay, he's obsessed with... Folks, you can do yoga and Kundalini yoga without like getting all witchcrafty with it. Okay, I did a little bit of Kundalini yoga. Okay, none of this like dark stuff. Okay, it's just now. Granted, I had to stop because it seemed like some dark shit was actually happening. It's like hearing stuff. Okay. So it'll jar you. Okay. Just like, I mean, they have you bobbing your head crazy. Just like, yeah. So you're just. So you just get a little tuned up, a little dizzy. And then in the calm of it, and that's where all the chaos is. No, it opens you up, and you're in weird positions, and but people get weird with it, just like they do with everything. Okay, you can try these things out and not have your identity be part of it, and get weird. You can just see what it's about. It's like, have you ever gone to a temple or a synagogue or a mosque, a big old Catholic church, something different, just to see what's happening? Okay, you didn't have to convert. You just got to sit and watch. It's better than jury duty. And you sit and watch all these people participate in this thing that they've been participating in for years, and you just mosey on in. It's weird. It's their own world. So you don't have to, you can, yeah. Now there's certain things that, it might mess you up if you try, But no, don't be doing kundalini around me, okay? I don't need no kundalini energy, okay? Just walk up straight. People walk up to me like, "Oh, your kundalini's risen." I'm like, get out! What do you do? And how did you know? Because you start walking different. You're like, well, up on your haunches, okay? And some people need to learn how to walk. These people, they're sitting so much. They don't know how to be in their body. You got to rest up on your haunches. And when you awaken that kundalini, you go cobra, okay? That's when you lean back. That's why Brad Pitt, everyone talks about Brad Pitt in the Fight Club. Well, he was all basically walking around like a serpent because his kundalini energy, okay? But yeah, don't open yourself up to spirits and stuff like that, okay? There's the physicality of it all is but no, that was a while ago. I don't do that kind of stuff. And you can try it out, but it will keep you up, okay? You end up getting a lot of energy, and you can be up for days. So there is something that happens when you do kundalini. But there was none of this. Yeah, I'm sure there's just like with everything, there's levels to it. I didn't get to the level of shit eating and tantric sex. Okay, I was just like yoga with a little bit more of breath of fire and head bobbing. You look like you're in a Tool music video, like learn to swim, learn to swim. Yeah.
Do it anymore?
No, don't do that.
Wow. It's all over this town.
I mean, you could do calisthenics, you can do Pilates, but okay, so here's a.
But yeah, it definitely has an energy. It's got an energy. No, it's not. Go run outside. It's way better than being in a room of people wanting to, that achieve this heightened consciousness all the time. Yeah. And they wear all white and wear the thing on their heads. And Sikhs.
Article called 8 Lectures on Yoga by Aleister Crowley. We know him, right? And he goes through it, yoga.
But again, I will say, there's I was directed a bit into Kundalini by people talking about that was like magic yoga and very it helps with creativity. So, and boy, did it ever. Now that I think about it, so maybe I need to go back. I'm running out of deals, folks. Where are we at here? We are at episode 92. Okay. I might have to do some 1,000 Petal Lotus in order to figure out how to get to 100. I don't know if I got it in me.
Yoga means union. Yoga means union. You can see he says it like 10 times on the same page. So what you are doing is yoking yourself like a ox, a union, a yoke. Like, you know how oxes have two of them go together on one yoke. Does that make sense? So you're yoking yourself to
What's a yoke?
It's the thing that you put on two oxes so that they can walk together.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. So again, Jamie Kennedy is pointing, saying, I see the black eye.
Oak.
It's the thing that you put on two oxes so that they can walk together.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is what you're doing with yoga, is you are yoking yourself to another
spirit. A woman said once you do the yoga poses, you can't do them because you are then summoning those spirits.
That's
so you're telling me if I were to do a yoga pose, it's summoning the spirits? If I'm not chanting.
If I went down and did downward dog and like stretched out, I don't think so.
Okay. So like frog pose.
But if we're sitting there meditating and going and
we do that
and doing all that stuff, yes, that is the part that is opening yourself up to be possessed or incarnate other spirits.
So what yoga can you do, if any?
I just wouldn't do yoga. I mean, I might do the stretch, but don't
The
like,
stretches are so good.
yeah, like you can do the calisthenic part of it or the Pilates part,
Yeah, exactly.
but the spiritual aspect of it is what I'm talking about.
Right. And that's what I was saying with the Kundalini too. You can people get into that spiritual stuff and all that, and you have to go to the bookstore and read up on the literature, but you can also just do the workout, and it's calming. Oh, actually, it's not. It's actually quite aggressive. I went to one of the top ones, folks. Okay, I went to a place where they were considered one of the top of Kundalini places, and as a guest, I was brought there. And you have to do all these breathing exercises and poses, and the teacher who there's a few different teachers. So the elder, the one that everyone respects, kind of gave me a little shout out. Okay, she started talking to me in the crowd, so I was feeling that Kundalini. She's like, "Yeah, you seem to be catching on to this." I'm like, "Oh yeah." Like, either that or I was causing too much commotion. Like, hitting the gong. No, but they, they're like, "Oh, there's a sucker," and they got me for a good couple of months. I got a membership, and I was like, "Oh yeah," and then also I'm like, "Oh my God," I'm like, "Well, no, why? This is a nearly 24-hour gym or school. It's like a guru school." It's because you start harmonizing with the ionosphere at 3 o'clock in the morning. So might freak you out. It's probably best not to do Kundalini, actually, now that I think about it. There's other things you could do besides the like just doing the Robert Plant the whole time. Come from land in ice and snow. Actually, some pretty freaky experiences too. Pretty freaky experiences. You just have like basically like a movie playing in your head. And you're just like, "Oh my God." It's like, it helps with creativity. Well, yeah, because all of a sudden you see the screen. You're like, oh, God. How do I turn the screen off? So you see the inside a bit, and it's this big old projection screen. Showing you a bunch of nothing. Okay. I need to make some sense of it. That was very turn you inside out.
Right
Does
here.
it have to be like and all that?
So I don't mind that humming stuff. I think that's actually really important. I think people should hum more. It's just you're vibrating your spine, your nervous system. It's like a tuning fork. Just boom, and these low energy people don't understand what energy is, how to achieve it, cultivate it, maintain it, grow it, utilize it, use it as fuel to bring about a transformation. That's when athletes are able to achieve these spectacular maneuvers that if you're sitting on the couch and you got up to get some food, you still wouldn't be able to do these insane moves because you're not warmed up to it. So all these things are helping you stay warmed up to and staying at that threshold of this the state, okay, the state where you're locked in, okay, you are in full whatever people call it, but you can do things that would otherwise be difficult. But not all the time. And I don't know what I'm talking about. We're chatting here. We're chatting. It is quite remarkable though to hear Jamie Kennedy, probably someone with the least amount of energy I've seen on screen, want to know something about Kundalini yoga. Okay, you need to maybe learn a little bit more about walking one leg in front of you. Just learn to walk first before you start trying to stretch your body. You gotta move your body. This individual hasn't moved his body in a Hollywood minute.
I don't know. Yeah.
I wouldn't do that.
Oh my.
I wouldn't do that. Do an Om. Om. It's good to do an Om. Do an Om. The new sound, the Schumann resonance. Okay.
Gosh.
It's interesting because I've lived with a lot of hippies. I live with a lot of like magicians, and they're super kind. They're super gentle. They're very meek creatures. If you're thinking about all of the girls in your yoga class, they're just very like kind and gentle. And so they're very susceptible to deception.
Are the magicians?
Yeah, you gotta love that small town church mentality. It's true, man. Those yoga chicks, and they're very susceptible to. What did she say? They're definitely annoying
They're
for sure.
very
Annoying.
susceptible to deception.
Oh, like thinking that they look good in those Lulu pants. You don't. Lululemon, sorry. Quit wearing them. Just wear regular pants. No, show your shape. Show it. Show your shape. I mean, I'm like, I wear cloaks. Okay, you don't know what my shape is. It's air.
Are the magicians deceptors?
Yes.
Yeah, see, here's what I think that you've gone through.
Oh, here we go. How about you talk about what you've gone through? Look at it. He's like, ugh. It's like he's about to hit her.
Right, in a little bit I know you. So you said you've lived with what? Hippies?
Yeah.
Magicians?
Yeah.
Oh, here we go. He's going to do his list. Yeah, yeah. Just say the words.
Musicians?
Yeah.
Photographers?
No.
Okay. Those are what we call entry-level creeps.
Oh, God. All right. He's crashing out now. He's doing his, I'm going to teach you a lesson. I'm going to teach you what things are. She's not. She's repulsed by this. She's like, oh, God. Like,
Those are what we call entry-level creeps.
okay.
Do you understand?
Wow. And now he's doing the okay, do you understand? Okay, and that's how he talked to Nasia. Okay. And this is him trying to have a little bit of playing the dominance card. Like, I'm going to be the expert here in male creephood. Well, you're gonna let us know. We can see.
Those are what we call entry-level creeps. Do you understand?
Mm-hmm.
So they act like hippie. Here's how a hippie is a creep. A hippie is a grifter
Mm-hmm.
and a fake, right? They're like, hey man, peace and love, right? And then they get on.
Now this is what people love to do too. Is they love to demonize everyone so that then they're the only one to be the person to come to talk to. Jamie, be the change, okay?
Peace and love, right? And then they get on your place and they sleep on
I'm
your
about
couch,
war.
and you can't get them to leave.
Yeah.
Oh, hey.
Share, brother.
Oh, there. Did you hear that? There's the couch. And he can't get him to leave. Nasia was sleeping on the couch. Okay, and he bought the house, the content home.
Place and they sleep on your couch.
Okay, this is confirmed. Nasia has been squatting, staying at the content, or not the content home, but his home, and so he had to purchase another home. And it was all her idea. Oh my God, was my episode up here this whole time?
And then they get on your place and they sleep on your couch, and you can't get them to leave.
Yeah.
Oh, hey.
Share, brother.
Yeah, share brother. And they guilt you and they manipulate you.
Yeah.
Share brother. That was so real right there. And so, hey, you know, and they're probably pedos, some of them, because they're like, well, it's just like we're stretching.
Yeah.
It's love. And they'll get you when you're.
Yeah. I've seen that. So that's the problem I have with communal living. There's always like some super old creeps who just never grew up and got their own wife, and they just want to like creep on the young girls. And so I know exactly where you're coming from.
And
Yeah,
they're completely.
dude, stay away from that shit.
They're completely. The women are. They're still not fully mature
Naive.
yet.
Yeah.
And so, or a magician for sure. Hey, you want to see a chick? And that's what I call non-charming nerd, or whatever, creep, whatever, because he's
All right, so he's shaking his foot like crazy.
basically doesn't have charming nerd, or whatever, creep, whatever, because he's basically doesn't have the ability. Nerd, for sure. Hey, you want to see a chick? And that's what I call charming nerd, or whatever, creep, whatever, because he's basically doesn't have the ability to just talk to a woman, and it's not an equal thing of age or world experience. And so he'll, hey, look at this, and then it's like, ooh, mystical, and then the girl's impressed, and then that makes her more vulnerable.
Jamie, dude.
So, you know, there's usually a fatherless figure. Listen, there's a lot to say within this subject, but I hate it when people that's why I have such problems with, and this isn't political, and I want to stand what we're talking about, but this is why I have problems with, and it happens in all political parties. Any minds group think thing is bad. Any being loyal to I'm just going to be loyal because this is my friend. You know, any label you're loyal to is just not healthy. That's my sister, so I know that she stole, but that's my sister. It's like, no, that's my mom, or this is my friend. It's like, we should be loyal to people's behavior. You know what they did, and so, you know, I'm not. People think I'm a right winger, but I'm not. I'm just common sense, but I'm closer to that than I am a wild liberal, and I used to like the open-mindedness of liberalism, but why I think there's a lot of hypocrisy there, and there is creeps and dirtiness and disgustingness on the right side as well, is that they pose the kindness angle.
Well, folks, it looks like I'm getting a few well, it's just I think we're just gonna wrap it up. I'm not really liking where this is, what's happened here, where this could go, and I'm just seeing everything that he's done with Nasia, just kind of not letting her finish, not letting her talk, talking down to her, he tells the female guest how things are in the world, the men to watch out for, and it's all just because he feels insecure and inadequate. And then you don't actually get to hear anything from the guest. And when you do get to hear something from the guest, it tends to be okay. I've enjoyed it. But once again, here's another female guest that he gets a little too flustered, and then he I guess, pushes back against those flustered feelings because he knows what an ogre he is, and the only way that he can get a girl to like her is if he's funny and buys him a house. Well, it's pretty much how it is. Pretty much how you got to do it. But Jimmy Kennedy, come on, man. You're trying to. First of all, she knows way more about all the stuff that you're trying to talk about than you do. Okay, you're not letting her say the things that she brought a notebook to write to make sure that she can stay on topic, because you are, I guess, known for not letting women stay on topic. But this is 120 into a 150, and unfortunately it's not. I don't now. There could be something there, and I recommend checking it out. But we will be wrapping things up, and but I do appreciate. This was a little bit of a weekend party, getting to hear some music, and but we'll be back at it at old Clip Virgin. We'll be looking at that commentary podcast. Although a lot of the comedians haven't really come out with a lot of the stuff. It's been people are now getting out of the Epstein stuff, so now we're getting back into some other type of topics, but yet we're not. Okay, we're still in it, but I do have to kind of stop watching Epstein stuff after a while, and I thought maybe we could find something to make fun of here, but it's a little too serious, and I hope that Jamie Hanshaw is okay and well, and we're not quite sure what had happened to this fella to make him to be hiding like that. That's her husband, and we did say that it did look like she might have gotten hit in the face, folks. Okay, so I really hope something is if that's the case, I hope that's taken care of, and I hope she doesn't think that she is the reason for the problem. Okay, she mentioned a couple times how she has to remind herself that you are the reason why there's problems in your life. Okay, something along those lines, and it seemed something that maybe a victim might say that could be covering something up, okay? And she might be, maybe protecting him a bit, but still, I mean, I'm not trying to be no journalistic show here, okay? We're going to do satirical analysis, and all of a sudden we might have stumbled upon a domestic dispute, but we don't know that for sure. And I'm not saying that that's what happened. It's all allegedly, and I hope that's not the case. But it seemed like it might have been alcohol related. Bit of a hit in the face, and then something happened to her side, her stomach, the ribs. So maybe she'll be on some other interviews. Jay has been on a couple of different interviews, and maybe you guys can see if the behavior is different. But we take a look at micro behavioral movements, and it's kind of what I'm seeing. But I'm not really. I don't enjoy Kennedy when he is trying to teach women things. But somebody's got to, that's for sure. But thank you very much. Thanks for joining. And we'll do again. A little bit of eye Rogan for you. See if we can get the one with Jay Lickin. Well, I guess we're going to have to settle with that.